I just realized today's May 31st and I haven't made a May's favorite video, so here we are. Hi, hello, I'm Marina, you know, that one girl that likes to talk a lot about houseplants, and welcome to Millennial Planter. On this channel, I like to talk about all the planty things, planting tips, houseplant shopping, planting favorites, just everything really. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It helps my channel grow and I would love to have you in this community. So let's get on to my top 5 favorite houseplants of May. So the first plant I'm going to start with is probably my smallest plant in this selection, and it is my adorable little Philodendron Majestic. So I had to pick this plant as a favorite because it just put out its first leaf in my care. Look at how pretty it is. Oh, I'm obsessed with this plant so much. I actually just got this in a trade. This was the original leaf that it came with, and it put out this leaf pretty recently. I actually showed this, I think, in my new growth video. And then if you look closely, it has a new growth. So exciting. I love this plant. I love it. I adore it. And I love how like it has that silvery variegation to it, and it has the cutest heart-shaped leaves. I can't wait to grow this plant out and see how big the leaves get. It was well worth the trade that I did. I traded my huge Hoya Rebecca, my mother Hoya Rebecca, and some cash as well. But it was well worth it. And now I need to have the Philodendron Glorious plant as well. So if you didn't know, Philodendron Majestic is a cross between the Melanochrysum and the Verrucosum. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna double check and put it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's a cross with, and you can definitely see it here. Like you can see those definite like Verrucosum vibes. And this is the back. Oh, it even has a slightly red back. I never really noticed that before. Interesting. But yeah, Philodendron Majestic, super cute, highly recommend. I don't even know what the price is really for these. I feel like I look online and then I look on Facebook and plant prices are just all over the place. So if you can maybe trade for one, that would be amazing, and I definitely recommend it. Next is, oh wow, I just realized 4 out of 5 of these plants are Philodendron. Interesting. Second is going to be my variegated Philodendron Burley marks. You guys, I have had this plant for, not even kidding, 9 months. I've had it since last spring, summer-ish. I feel like I got it maybe around August of last year, maybe September, and it was just one leaf for the longest. So I eventually made my plant room a plant room, and this plant has been in here ever since, and it just recently put out a new leaf. Now it's a little bit funky. It's still kind of hardening off. Hopefully I don't have any pests, but it's also putting out another new leaf. And it looks so variegated. So my previous variegated Burley marks had a weird variegation pattern. It wasn't very variegated, and then it would put out not variegated leaves, and then it would put out variegated leaves, and then eventually it just completely reverted, and I was really devastated. So I just gave it away and let somebody else like have their own project experiment with it. And I was actually my friend gave me some of hers, which was super sweet, and like the variegation is insane. The variegation on her plant is insane, and I am so excited to see this plant actually growing now. And Burley marks in general are just really easy plants. The only thing about them is that their growth pattern is a little chaotic. It's a bit chaotic. They grow up, they're climbers, but they get really bushy. They're super bushy plants, so they do require a lot of like space once they're grown out, especially if you decide not to chop it. But either way, I'm excited to grow this plant. And if you look at that stem, oh, that stem is so variegated and stripy. Oh, that's so exciting. So I'm so excited to see what this plant does in the growing season. I know I said that I wasn't going to be chopping my plants, and I've tried to stick to that for the most part. There's a few plants that I just refuse to chop to get them to grow out, and like my Philodendron Splendid is one of them. My Florida Ghost, I'm just not gonna chop at all. A lot of my Hoyas I have been chopping back and trading. I just can't help it. I just love a good trade. I cannot say no to a trade. I go on Facebook, I'm on all these Hoya pages, and people are like, hey, let's trade. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. And then I'm left with like 2 leaves on my plants, but it's the best way to grow your collection. So it's a win-win. Double-edged sword, I don't know, pick one. Variegated Burley Mark, super cute, and it's finally growing for me, so I'm so excited. So the first Planty product actually that I want to talk about today is actually another trellis. I'm so sorry, you guys are tired of hearing about our products at my job, Trellis, but we just came out with a DIY trellis, and it's so much fun. If you have kids like me, I have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. I don't know if any of you guys knew that. Some of you probably did. But anyways, it's summer break and you need activities to do during summer break, and DIYs, so much fun. I always go for the DIY stuff at like the Target dollar area, the Bullseye Playground, because I love doing it with my kids. They really enjoy painting, getting their hands dirty. It's a great way to pass time and a great way to prevent fights for a couple of hours. So we have these available in 4 different styles, and the wood is completely untreated, so it's just a bare wood. It's called the Bare Collection, and it's super easy to paint on. You can even draw on it with marker. I did that with this trellis here. This is my Anthurium Magnificum. It's been kind of floppy lately, so I just have the trellis here to kind of stabilize it. But if you can see, I painted it, and then I just went in and I did some designs with a Sharpie, and then also I did this cute little 90s splatter paint inspired trellis. So I made like a terracotta color, and then oh, there's some webbing on here. I hope it's not a spider. But I did like a terracotta color, and then I just took a toothbrush and splattered white paint all over it, and I love the way that it looks. This is actually my top favorite one. Really fun activity to do, even if you don't have kids and you just like to DIY stuff, or you want to like customize a trellis and how you want to do it. Highly recommend our trellises, and they're cheaper than our normal ones. So I'll have that link down below if you want to check that out. Super dope, a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be purchasing some for myself so that I can do with my kids this summer. But yeah, I love them. I love them. We're also a small business located in Georgia. All of our products are eco-friendly, and we're woman-owned. We're POC-owned, just like all of the things that you want in a small business is what we represent. I should say her, because it's not my business, I just work for it. Anyways, on to the plants. My next plant, ironically, like I said, another philodendron, and it is Philodendron Majestic. And this one is on here because it's finally growing for me, and I'm so excited. All of these plants are just doing so much growth for me. So I actually imported this plant from, I don't remember where. I'll have the video link below if you want to check it out. But this was imported from Indonesia, and I thought I was going to lose it. I don't know why. I mean, imports really make me nervous. Even though I've done quite a few by now, I always get really panicked and nervous when I do imports. So I ended up chopping the top part of this plant, trying to propagate it because I wanted to save the plant. And first off, rule number 1 of importing is don't chop the plants unless you absolutely have to. And it was a mistake. It was a learning mistake, but I lost the top half of that plant, never propagated. It just died pretty instantly. And so I was left with the bottom piece, and the bottom had 4 leaves. And as you can see, it's doing amazing now. It has just recently put out this leaf now. So it is fully growing, and I'm so excited. Once you get philodendron to grow, they just take off, at least in my experience. And look at those maroon abaxials, the backs of the leaves. Oh, it's to die for. Really the only type of red bottoms I'll ever be able to afford, if I'm being honest. But Philodendron Majestic, super cute. And yeah, I'm so excited to get this one to grow. Now I gotta put this on a moss pole. I have to put all of these guys on poles of some sort. So that's gonna be a video for another day. So taking a break from the philodendrons, we're gonna go to a monstera. A monstera I haven't really talked about much because I don't know, but it is my monstera albo. And look at this. Oh, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful, but like also, can you work with me a little bit? This albo I won in a giveaway like 2 years ago, but you know, you already know I cut my plants all the time. So I've cut this plant probably about 3 times. And even with all that cutting, it has given me some immaculate variegation. The babies that I've made with this plant also have had a lot of variegation, and I just realized that this plant was the first time I ever tried perlite propagation, which is insane. When I first got the plant, it was unrooted cuttings, which is totally fine with me, and it kind of started to rot a little bit in water, and I just wanted to give perlite a try because I'm horrible with sphagnum moss propagation, especially back in the day, and I wanted to try perlite, and lo and behold, like it just did so amazing, and me and perlite have just been best friends ever since. But as you can see, it gave me this huge all white leaf. Wow, it is just glowing from the light. But despite giving me so much white, it has the tiniest little strip of green right there. It's already putting out a new leaf. This plant just grows insane. I know a lot of people have problems with the high constellations rotting all the time and being really slow growers, but my albo, I've never had problems with rot. I mean, I should probably knock on wood, but I've never had rot problems, and it's always been a consistent grower for me, even with me chopping it up all the time. But I am finally at the point where I'm done chopping it, and this is one of the plants that I'm really just going to grow out, and I know in no time it's going to give me some fenestrated leaves. I have it on a moss pole. I have some aerial roots already rooting in there, so hopefully within the next 1 or 2 leaves I'll get a fenestrated leaf. And then looking at the new leaf, you can tell there's way more green in here than in this leaf. I don't know what happened here. This was just a fluke. So I think I'm gonna leave the leaves alone. I'm not gonna do any chopping just yet, but just look at these beautiful marbled leaves. This is my favorite type of variegation, the marbled versus the all white or even the half moons. And I would say the key to not getting your leaves too crisp is don't touch them. Just leave your hands off of them. Just admire them from a distance, and they won't crisp up and brown so easily. At least that's my thinking, because I've never really had mine crisp up that much. But monstera albo, such a beauty. Definitely one of my top favorite plants. And definitely one I wouldn't have had if I didn't win that giveaway. So on to my next product. Actually, it's not a small business, but it's from Target, which, you know, whatever. It's these risers. So, you know, Target, I stay in their little bullseye area because it's amazing. But these risers, they're clear, so they're great for shelves, but also I put it in my grow tent. So it's a great way to add space. You know, I have a really small grow tent, so it's a great way to add more space. And I'm able to put plants at the bottom and at the top because they're see-through, and it's a 2-pack for only $5. So definitely go check out your local Target. Hopefully they have some like this. They also have really cute pots. Right now they have them in packs of 2, packs of 3 for like $5. So super affordable, and I mean, we can all use pots, right? My quick little Target plug, hashtag not sponsored. I wish I was. I guess we're on to my last plant, which happens to be a no ID. By the way, it took me a long time, embarrassing long time, to realize that people don't like to put spaces in between no ID. It's just noid. But it means no ID. It means the plant has no identification. It's an unknown plant, like this plant here. So I think it might be a May. I bought this plant a while ago, a couple years ago, and I don't remember what I purchased it as, but it ended up not being that plant, just for the sole fact that this plant is a climber, and the plant that I purchased was a notorious crawler. You can't really make a crawler a climber, because at the end of the day, it's gonna end up crawling. I I can make a whole video on that. That's very confusing, but I think this might be a Philodendron Majestic. But you can see this plant is pretty massive. Look at those beautiful new leaves. It's not giving me like quite silvery Majestic leaves, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's a mystery. And it has these adorable little red stems, and if you look closely, it has a ruffled petiole. And once again, another plant that I have chopped up, and it does okay, you know. Sometimes it gives me funky leaves like this. Sometimes the leaves rip when they're coming out, but for the most part, it does pretty well. It definitely needs a bigger pole, a bigger extension, so I can keep getting these big juicy leaves. But look at the difference. This is a bottom leaf right now, kind of yellow, kind of small, and look at this one up here. It's just so massive and happy and just heart leaf shaped and pillowy. And yeah, I really love this plant. I feel like I've never really given it the attention it deserves, but it's definitely a beauty. And if you happen to have a guess at what this plant is, let me know in the comments. It would be much appreciated. I don't know, maybe it is a Majestic at the end of the day. I feel like that's what most people say it is, or maybe it's just some unknown hybrid. Either way, I love her. She's beautiful, and I can't wait to grow her out even more. I did try notching her because this whole area, like that's so bare. So I notched her here, and then I notched her up here. So I'm not sure if I cut it deep enough to get it to activate these nodes, but I'm still learning. I'm still experimenting. I will definitely try again. And then if all else fails, maybe I'll just cut it and propagate it, because like this is too bare for my liking. Anyways, that wraps it up for my top favorite Planty Things of May. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm really hoping to get this video out by tomorrow, which is the 1st. So happy June. We're officially in Gemini season, which is my season. I'm turning the big 3-0 this month. I can't believe it. Anyways. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all are staying safe, sane, happy, and healthy. If you made it this far in the video, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment for me down below letting me know your favorite plants of May, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!